Okay guys, today I want to talk to you about a very simple ACD math concept that you might not have studied since 8th grade or 7th grade, or at least not in any kind of extensive or formal way, and that's mean, median, mode, and range. And when I first started researching all these ACT tests to figure out which kinds of math questions are asked the most and which ones are asked the least and which ones are overemphasized in ACD books and which ones are underemphasized, I was actually pretty startled to see that at least the word mean, but definitely mean, median, mode, and range, this concept or these ideas show up so often on the ACD math test that it ended up in my book, The ACD Math System, as being math that you absolutely must know for every single ACT math test. So what I'm going to do now is hop over to my iPad. I'm going to show you what these four terms mean. I'm going to show you how they relate to a number set, and I'm going to show you an example ACD math problem that mimics one that was found on a recent ACT math test. Okay, the good news is that we don't have to have a comprehensive understanding of these four terms and everything they can possibly do in math. But a basic understanding is completely necessary for every single ACT test, especially the word mean. But one type of extremely common ACT math question are those that use all four of these terms, that change them, that kind of a thing. But in order to find the mean or the median or the mode or the range of anything, you have to first have a set of numbers. A set of numbers, sometimes it'll show up in a bracket kind of like this, between two brackets, in this kind of a way. And it could be a set of numbers about anything. It could be the number of wins a football team has had over their last 6 seasons. Okay, I'm just making this up as we go. But let's say that one time they had 6 wins, and then 7 wins, and then 9 wins, and then 4 wins, and then 10 wins, and then 6 wins. Okay, I just made all that up. But this is a set of numbers of which we could find the mean, the median, and the mode, and the range. The problem is this set of numbers, if it refers to 6 years in a row, it's not in numerical order. In order to find these terms, or at least some of them, we have to put these numbers first from least to greatest, like this. So starting again, the least is 4, so we put that first. Then we have 2 6s, so 6, 6. Then we have a 7, a 9, and a 10, like that. Now we can find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range of this set of numbers. So let's go through each of these four terms one at a time, talk about what they mean, and use this set of numbers that I just created to find each of them. Okay, the first term is the mean. Okay, the mean just simply means the average of a set of numbers. So for us here, that would simply be all these numbers added together, so 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 10. Whoops. And then we're going to divide that by the total number of numbers, which is 6. And real quick, I'm going to put that in my calculator and divide the whole thing by 6. And sure enough, it ends up being that exactly 7 is the average. So that was just coincidence. I was expecting some kind of a decimal, but when you add those numbers together, you get 42 divided by 6, and you get 7. So this team has a mean average of 7 wins per season. Okay, the median is something different. Okay, the median just simply means the number that's in the middle. Okay, think about like the median down a road, right? The median is between two roads, it's in the middle. And so for any set of numbers, we can find the middle term. Now, finding the middle term is usually easier when you have a set of odd numbers. So for example, if I real quickly wrote here, if we had a set of numbers that was like 1, 2, 3, something like that, and close it off with brackets, well, the median is just the one that's literally in the middle. In this case, it would be the number 2. But we're not dealing with that here. Instead, in our list of 4, 6, 6, 7, 9, 10, we have a list of an even number of numbers. So there really is no number that's directly in the middle, right? It would fall between 6 and 7. So in this kind of a situation, you would just take the two middle terms, in this case 6 and 7, add them together, divide by 2. In other words, find their average, find the number that's right in the middle of them. So for us, that would be 6 plus 7 divided by 2, which is 6.5. Of course, that's the number that's right in the middle. So our mean is 7, our median is 6.5. Okay, next is the mode. Mode simply refers to the number that appears the most. And it's that simple. So whatever number shows up the most in the number set. Well, we have 1 4, 2 6s, 1 7, 1 9, and 1 10. So the number that shows up the most is 6, and that's it. And then lastly, we have the range. And the range refers to the difference between the highest and the lowest. So just take the highest number and subtract off the lowest, and that's going to give you the range. So in this case, the highest number is 10, and the lowest number is 4, so 10 minus 4 is 6, and our range is also 6. So what I want to do now is hop over to an actual example math problem that's very similar to one you would see on a real ACT that has to do with these terms. Okay, here's an example of a good mean, median, mode, and range math problem that's similar to one that showed up on a recent ACT math test. This is from my book, The ACT Math System, or the ACT System. The city of Bracton holds a dinner celebrating the achievements of local artists, and a table at the front is reserved for writers. Author A is seated first and has written 1 novel. Author B is seated second, has written 3. Author C is seated third and has written 2. Author D is seated fourth, has written 1. After dinner begins, author E, who has written 21 novels, arrives late and is seated in the 5th seat at the author's table. If it can be determined which of the following statistics was least changed by the arrival of author E: A, mean; B, median; C, mode; D, range. E says cannot be determined from the given information. Please don't think that that means none of the above or some inclusive answer that's very likely to be correct. E, cannot be determined from the given information, is extremely rarely the right answer. What that means is that if a group of math professors from MIT sat down at a table together and looked at this problem, they wouldn't be able to figure out the right answer. So you can see that that would be rarely the right thing. So here we go. What we're dealing with here is a set of numbers, of course, that gets changed by the addition of author E. So I'm going to go ahead and put these numbers in numerical order, meaning we have one person who's written 1 novel, another one who's also written 1, then we have someone who's written 2, and then we have someone who's written 3, and then that gets changed, right, with the addition of author E. So that goes from 1, 1, 2, 3 to 1, 1, 2, 3, 21. Okay, so if we wanted to, we could calculate the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, given what we just talked about, for these two different sets of numbers and see which one was actually changed the least. But I think if you stop and think about it, it's going to be pretty simple to see which one of these is actually changed the least. Hopefully you can see that the range immediately is changed a lot, right? From 3 minus 1 is 2 to 21 minus 1 is 20. It's obviously not going to be the range. But the mean and the median also make a change. You know, if you look at the first set of numbers, the average there is something like 1.75. That's a mean or something, right? But then with the bottom one, the mean shoots up to something like 4 or 5. It shoots up by a few. And then even the median, it goes from between 1 and 2, so it's 1.5, up to 2. So even it undergoes a change of 0.5 in the upward direction. But remember the definition of mode, right? Mode means the number that appears the most. And it doesn't matter what giant number we add onto the end, however many novels author E has written, the mode is going to stay the same because we have 2 1s here and 2 1s here. And that's why number 11 is C, mode. So there you have it, a little video about mean, median, mode, and range. If you want more ACT math that you need to know, or at least a review of it, I'm going to put a link to a video that I did recently about slope-intercept form down in the description below. God bless.